Okay, so today we begin part 2, Moebius. How to draw like Moebius, perspective and some watercolor. So here first we can see is down shot. We cannot see horizon line, so it's little like isometry. So we can check. Yeah, it's like isometry, and he have a little tilted vertical axis. It's very interesting. It's like inverted 3-1 point. Hello, non Jackson. So if we follow like super precise here, then y-axis looks like this. So it's like inverted instead of being like converging like this. For some reason, you can see this half angle leaning towards left, and this here is vertical. And it's here already vertical. So I think this kind of case when it's just kind of not accurate, because he was freehand drawing without making much serious calculation. But okay, let's follow this. It's also example that such mistakes not critical. So then it was y-axis, now we look z-axis. And x-axis. So then I put some like very general shapes of main elements. So here we have this bird. So, and I make it like very like a cloud-like shapes, so later I can adjust. And what we have like architecture, and we have people and this bird. So it's like two main groups. It's like static, artificial, and dynamic organic objects. So here lady, then here this have a guy here, and this like very general cloud shapes helps really to prepare detailed drawing, so I can know placement, proportions. I can make I can kind of plan, make sure all important elements will be visible. So it should be space and a good place for each element. Because this kind of main reason doing such preliminary drawing, preliminary sketch, to avoid the situation when you draw detail, start to drawing, and then you find out, oh, there is no place for, let's say, for her hands with a notebook. Like she's standing here making some notes. And it's important also, it's like I tell about iterations, about stages. On this stage you don't think about correct, like make something correct and neat and clean and precise. It's just like this, very raw. Because any moment you should be free, like it should be easy to erase all this, so you will not feel like you spent much time for details and then you need to erase all this stuff. Should be you should be flexible here. And again, this process is rebuilding. It's rebuilding, recreating instead of copying. So this way I practice a real creative process. So this is how I will make my work. This is how like you create original work. It's not only how you can copy, but same way you make your own work. Same way kind of you need to some perspective grid. Then you need to make this kind of general composition. Arrange elements in a space. And then when it's clear, when everything like organized and you know exactly what you like, you can see clearly what you will do. You just start to make final lines with ink and stuff. So kind of this little more simpler version. That will be kind of this. So you see this grid. So, and if this bird is pretty much organic, it's not like airplane, it's it's a little more kind of irrational forms here, not super symmetrical. But luggage in this how's it called, harness, it's very symmetrical and geometrical, so it's following perspective grid. So let's say this thing. So if talking about inking, there's very simple principle. It's outline, it's like silhouette of an object, and some kind of line around form, so we can show form with this line. Let's see. So it's gonna be like cross section, kind of this, right? And this also works with like hatching, so it's just short cross sections like this one. So we're showing with this line, we're showing how form is turning. And also like small texture, kind of indicating some properties of material, of surface. Like here, for example. So here, this concrete fence. So first it's like silhouette, then I can little define form, but also I showing surface, showing like some cracks, like little uneven, like raw surface. Kind of this. So silhouettes, very important element. Kind of need to work like on a clarity of silhouettes. So it's like there is a silhouette of object, silhouette like of character. There also a silhouette of a group and silhouette of a area in your composition. So let's say her silhouette here. And Moebius, he also, when he designed his characters, he designed their silhouettes. So making this kind of choosing outfit for them, so it will make some individual silhouette. Second character here. Here is somebody standing, leaning to this fence. Just be real. So funny here. Так. Dude, you should be here. Так. Oh, thank you, creator. Cool. of lamp here. It's kind of, yeah, I think I will make more video, so YouTube will more recommend my channel. It's just this how it works. Should be more video, should be like consistent publishing. Greg Capullo Batman. I will check Greg Capullo Batman if yeah, if I will have kind of, no, I will check if it's interesting. I will do also video about his backgrounds. Because I plan like this different artists in the future. Also I want to do Ryan Barry, 9 Monkeys perspective, maybe Dirty Iron, maybe some also from some anime architecture, some cyberpunk stuff. So we'll check Greg Capullo. Greg Capullo. Так. Yeah, this perspective grid method is like fundamental, so I think it's also will apply to Greg Capullo backgrounds. Once you start to practice perspective grids, just do yourself, try this like different isometry, do vanishing point perspective grids, and more you practice, more you start to see it. You start to see it in other artists' works. You see it in real life, in movies. Yeah, sure. Thank you for feedback and support. Так, let's see. Так. So here you see how I follow in this grid. Once you have grid, draw became much easier. So you can draw this grid with a pencil, or at least you need to have idea that there is perspective grid. Because if you don't have idea of it, if you don't know, it's much harder to draw, and you will lose this kind of space and atmosphere of space. It's like in a sculpture. In sculpture you cannot fake your knowledge. It's kind of, you cannot hide your lack of knowledge of anatomy and understanding of construction, like what you're sculpting. So same in visual art. You cannot hide your lack of understanding space. If you don't have clear understanding what is like what kind of perspective grid here, like where is horizon line, where is main axis. If you don't have clear idea of it, it will be evident. So it will be clear. It's like yeah, I was in Hong Kong, and some guy, I think he was some kind of tourist, this kind of hippie tourist who travel different country and sometimes like perform on a street or ask people for money, just, you know, to continue travel. And he was playing this kind of musician sync, I don't know how it's called, this instrument. It's like metal sync with these holes, you know, like dun 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 dun. And he kind of like, he think he can make cool improvisation with it, just sit and randomly improvising, making random music. But it was very clear he don't know what he's doing. It's kind of, even me, I'm not musician. I was in my childhood, I go to piano classes. I was like 2 months maybe in total. But I know there's kind of, you know, melody. It should have some structure. You cannot make totally random music. So even like if you have beautiful instrument, like beautiful sounds, still you need some basic knowledge, you need some structure. So, and for us it's perspective. It's very essential, basic skill. So I also Moebius in his article about how to be comic book artist, he talk about like first thing you need to have, first basic essential skill, it's a good perspective. You need to know perspective well, and you need to be confident with perspective. And no matter what kind of style you draw, it can be like, you know, like Tintin, like some cartoonish style. But having good perspective, it's something that make you artist. Without this perspective, you're not artist essentially. Because artist is not just some dude who make a couple pictures. Artist kind of means you're also how to say, you're on a certain level. Like you have like certain integrity. Some basic essential level of competence, kind of, so you really understand principles, you understand techniques, methodology, understand how picture making works. So it's not random for you. You know how to make certain effect, how to deliver message using like different techniques. So it's like if you're illustrator, you can illustrate a story, you can illustrate some situation, you can visually narrate, you can, like comic book artist, yeah, you can tell story in the form of comic book, so it will be clear what has happened. At least it should be clear, like at minimum requirements. So we know where is left, where is right. And then at best it's not only clear, but it's also impactful. And I like watch like old Hollywood movies, like 80s, you know, maybe 90s too, no bad. They're like, how much they are more impressive than contemporary movies. Like, let's say, I don't know, like most of usual movies right now, their tone is kind of I don't know, like they have this kind of average emotional tone. They're not too scary, they're not too exciting. They always kind of like in the medium range. And I was watching this like some just almost any good Hollywood movie from 80s, and there they have like all emotional range in a movie, no matter what kind of genre it. Like you watch Ghostbusters, for example, like this first and second, and it's like creepy, it's scary, and it's really funny, and there is action, there is drama, it's like there is some farce, comedy, they're everything. They work with all emotional spectre, and you can realize it's not kind of today a director they choose to be kind of so mediocre. No, they just not so professional. This before they really like they grab you in and make you this like emotional roller coaster, like really. So it's kind of interesting. We can see when they're can really like work with emotions. And like make you laugh, make you cry, make you like jump from fear in the same movie. Yeah, you go to, there is kind of two video about very basics about perspective, where I step by step explaining very good, like very, I think very simple explanation about all types of perspective. Maybe I don't talk there about fish-eye perspective, but I talk also about 5 vanishing points. So you can find there's like in the beginning of a channel some old tutorials like how to draw in perspective. So I explain in there about perspective grids. So yeah, if talk like shortly, it's like idea of perspective grid, that it should be one perspective grid. Like is no reason to make like 2 or 3, I don't know, you will like confuse yourself too much. So if it's too complicated perspective, then you need to choose one grid. You need to choose one perspective grid, and not, and then you just will like make some adjustments within this perspective grid. Oh, Angels of Renaissance. Oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah. We'll check your channel, Angel of Renaissance. Interesting. Так. So let's see this one. So here we have horizon line is present here, it's in your face kind of. So and here it's clear direction to vanishing point. We can see it's kind of here. Yeah, it's like almost on the edge of paper. It's kind of here. We have the vanishing point. So I just randomly draw straight lines from it. And this one, this picture is also interesting example when it's important to use ruler, because you can see when these lines close to each other like this, and you see like this is like many very narrow spaces between lines. So you can lost, if you will freehand this, you will lose this clarity, you will lose this sharpness. So to maintain same sharpness, you need a ruler for sure. So then like this vanishing point is here, vertical. Vertical is just vertical here, so I don't need to draw it much. And vertical is y-axis, right? So and x-axis, let's see, it's kind of this. Yeah, On this channel I kind of like trying to tell about what I don't see in other channels. So even like, you know, if there's perspective tutorials, usually these tutorials very superficial, people just telling the same thing again and again. But there's a lot of nuances missing, just because these nuances, like, you can, like, everybody like facing them when we're practice perspective, when we actually start to draw in something, and we have these questions like how actually do this thing. Just more specific problems. So I realize it's interesting to teach perspective, talking about specific problems, specific kind of situations, instead of talking about some general principles. You can teach these general principles inside specific kind of situations. Because all this is all same simple principles, all same techniques again and again, but shown in action, kind of in actual situation, so we can learn how to apply it. So like this bird in the sky, like, I don't need to draw perspective grid for this bird, right? But it's kind of a bunch of lines, which is like its own independent perspective grid. And this bird, still, like, being like in different angle, is still aligned with the general perspective grid. So no matter how many alterations in perspective you have, they will always align with one main grid, because they all have same horizon line here and somehow related to this horizon line. Yeah, I was realized as kind of nothing wrong in using ruler. It's just about what you need. If you want some organic shape, then you draw freehand. If you want more sci-fi kind of more sharp shapes. Then you use ruler, like seed meat, for example. Seed meat, yeah. His works definitely have ruler, so we can see this, you know, very sharp, very clean lines. So it's it's a tool. It's a tool. It's not like eraser, right? Eraser is not to fix your mistakes. No, eraser, it's just a tool which provides you with certain like technique, kind of like a eraser. It's a tool for certain techniques, that's all. So we're treating it as a tool, we're not treating it as like Control Z button. So, and without ruler, it's also, you are not only will make wobble line inevitably, like your line will always little wobble when you draw freehand, but also you can make some kind of like you will miss, your hand will lead you somewhere wrong way always. So to make really like very precise design, you need to ruler. That's just a fact. Yeah. So eraser is just like it's like a drawing tool, so make like highlights, or like me when I'm making this like pencil sketch, I just feel like I'm sculpting, so it's like I'm working with the clay, so I can add lines, I can and I can take out some lines. So it's not like I'm trying to fix or something. No, it's just like you little add, you little take out, just it. So pencil and eraser is like one tool. Yeah, only I'm more like fine liners and fountain pen, because they like have more solid line flow. Ballpoint feels a little more dry for me. Let's close window. Also with this fine liners you can make watercolor. I'm not sure about ballpoints, I think they will melt from water. Dog here. Yeah, Japan feels best. I just like mobility of fine liners, because you just take it and go somewhere, very convenient. And fine liners actually can be very similar to Japan, like visually. But you need to move more fast. It's kind of require more more precise pressure control. Oh, cool. You also drew in Moebius now? No, I say you right now you're drawing alone. You draw in Moebius too, or you draw in your manga. Oh, cool. Okay. Some waves on the water. With snow and water. Cool, thank you, creator. See you later. Creator, see you later. So it's again this interesting situation where all these natural forms, all these irregular shapes, they seems like very irregular and pretty random, but it's very clear perspective grid here. Its perspective is very clear here, and we can see how Moebius, he at first he know perspective, and then he align, he kind of like a snap all these objects, all these textures and patterns, he snaps them to this perspective. So let's show it. So if you look here in this one, right? So you see it's the axis. So they kind of, yeah, this one almost like horizon line, almost parallel. It's just a little slightly going down. So horizon line will be around here. So, and we can see here some architecture also have this z-axis converging towards horizon line. So horizon line somewhere here. And anyway, because again it's like freehand, sometimes he make it little wobble. So anyway, you need to make decision, because this one, it looks like here is going down, then here is again like a little, like almost like horizontal line, so you may be confused, right? But then you look here and this is definitely going down here, so vanishing point is about here for this architecture, so it means horizon line, it's here. So zoom out and we see horizon line, it's here. So it's like, let's see, yeah, it's like a quarter of picture. So we have like this, here horizon line. And vanishing point also I will do, it's like vanishing point for this architecture, for these buildings. So it's about here. Kind of here. And so now I can make this first Z axis. Then vertical lines. If we look on this machine here, vertical lines here is just vertical. No, it's not like three vanishing point perspective. Yeah. We don't have convergence for vertical lines here. It's just like this. It's Y, Z and X. So let's see, and with X it's kind of this situation when we have so many like rotations, you know, some like this object, he will have, like, let's say if I take X for this flying vehicle, whatever it is, right? So then X will be like this. Right? You see this angle here. So I can take this one just as general grid. But we can see all other elements, they have their own X grid, but it's not so important because it's like one object here, very small, and we have this one like two vanishing point perspective, and we have this one like two vanishing point perspective, but they all on their own grid, and you will not do grid for every of them. It's just kind of too much. Oh, and here you're gonna have some samurai or whatever. No, Shansong, or I know, Raiden, god of rain. Whoa. So one, like for this stuff here, vanishing point somewhere here. So if you want, you can kind of check this stuff just on its own. So it's like, say, okay, I have this area here and vanishing point for it will be somewhere there. But I will look in this vanishing point when I will draw this thing. So I don't need to make, oh, wait a second, I'll show you. So I don't need to make like special grid for this. I just keep in mind like, okay, there's vanishing point, and I will follow this vanishing point when I draw this stuff here. Then like this mountain here, it's pretty much follows this grid here. It follows this vanishing point. So when you have general perspective grid, it gives you this atmosphere, it gives you this idea of general space here. And then when you see some alterations, when you see some parts, some areas, they are not exactly following this grid, you're just making this slight alteration. So it's much easier to show difference, to show change in general rule when you have this general rule. So this kind of main point of such perspective grid is just to establish general space, general ground. And then when I have this grid, now I put this main elements, and I pretty much sure this how Moebius also do this. I mean just perspective grid, general shapes, and we have this shape here, like you see, this kind of group of rocks, and how it's making this shape here. So it's like composition is about this overlapping of shapes. You need to first kind of find this interesting overlap. Oh, and then I look vehicle, I little move it here. How they relate, how they overlap. So again, like this is, it's kind of interesting. This pattern on the rock, right? We can see all these lines. They kind of follow this vanishing point on the left mountain. Like they follow same vanishing point like this flying vehicle. But then, like about here, it's kind of start to appear like it's another vanishing point. So this kind of his lack of accuracy in perspective. So it's actually here. So he will have like this vanishing point here. Okay. So this mountain, and here is like this. So you see, it's kind of very interesting. Sometimes we have like kind of geometrical forms like this, and they're all like fusion with this irregular natural shapes, but they together follow in same vanishing point. So if this part here go into this vanishing point, then this part here go into this vanishing point. And here is a river. This river kind of going here and then appears here. So let's make ink. So here some mountain road. People walking. And this kind of lines is not vertical, it's not y-axis, it's the angle of mountain. So, and I'm like, if I'm making z axis kind of, it should follow horizon line and vanishing point. So this kind of stone pattern kind of, it should follow this vanishing point here. But vertical lines, they follow angle of a mountain surface. And all other like small alterations, like it's just this difference on the surface. So let's say mountain go like this, but people, they're vertical. Some people walking here, right? So every these lines on a surface, they're like showing all the small shadows, like, you know, like if we have ball and there's shadow, cast shadow, but instead of drawing all ball, you only showing shadow or cast shadow, right? So all this like a stone, let's say. On a stone you can show shadow, you can say show shadow on the cracks of the stone, and you can show only these shadows without showing these lines on the light, right? So it will be something like this. So all these lines Moebius do when he draw mountains like this, patterns on the mountains, it's lines showing shadow. It's a shadow over some kind of crack, some wrinkle, and so they showing kind of surface of this rock. So here we have some house. just make it more quick. A little more loose. So here is also like mountain path. It's going like a mountain trail. Some people walking. Like a hobbit. So still, like when make ink, it's silhouettes. And form and patterns. Silhouettes first, then goes form, and then goes pattern. So you see like this form, and then just kind of looking for patterns. It's like interesting, like repeatable elements. let's see, river. So now just doing these layers of overlapping. So it's different layers. Then again here you see this grid. And with just some slight wobble and little adjustment, this patterns texture is following perspective grid. So, and this again, like I say, these lines, they show in shadow, but sometimes they also show in like turning of a form. So it's like, it's a showing that form is turning there, like, you know, so it's like if it's ball, so this line will show, okay, here we have edge of form, and form will go in like around there. So it's kind of is this kind of silhouette line, this outline, right? But also it's kind of indicates turning of form. And this how we're showing overlapping. We're showing like this form, then this form. It's kind of this what happening here. Also, it's like this one. It's like form was going here and then it's turning. So now it's turned like this. Here is like a pattern. With a hatching. So back to river. Let's see. So same here, is kind of going to this vanishing point, but then it's going weird, something like this. Ooh. So kind of playing around with this thing. Ooh. Same also as rocks, they're overlapping. So first of all, you just draw overlap of shapes, of shapes of these different objects. River. This kind of gate for this city or castle. So interesting here, also talking about pattern of these rocks, of these mountains. It's kind of opposite to waves. So let's say if like you have waves of like a glue, like glue moving down, right? So, or some kind of gel. So it's like moving down like this. Maybe you can put some shadows or stuff. With this kind of rocks here, sometimes here we can see it's like working opposite way. It's like if they're moving upwards, like kind of gravitate upwards. Sometimes it's both, but often, like this one, you see it's this kind of overlapping with a vertical upward movement. Let's erase some pencil so you can see where we can add some more details. So we can add this more pattern here. To show some more depth, kind of it will go inside. Go inside, turn video, or far away. Так, same here. It's kind of grounding it, make it more heavy, connecting to ground. Okay, let's make last one this. I will make it more quick. So here we have again horizon line, and here's a lot of circles, a lot of ellipses. So like I said before, ellipses and horizon line, it's like this. So here horizon line, ellipse close to horizon line more flat, and more far it will be more open, and it works towards up and down. So kind of here's will be circle, let's say. So, and what do we see here? We can, like, without drawing perspective grid, we can just work with this extent, kind of, we can establish kind of ratio, right? So it's like, do we have this here, or we have this ellipse, or we have this ellipse? What kind of ratio we have? So, and here it's this one in the front, right? Look, we have this one, right? So it's already give us this ratio for ellipses, and we kind of looking through all those buildings. Let's so you see we have this ellipse, we have this ellipse, and then we can look through every building. It's like this ellipses everywhere. Ellipses, ellipses, ellipses. So first I can just put a bunch of ellipses to establish this kind of ratio. So what does it mean? It means now when I have this kind of ellipse with this ratio between minor and major axis, it means here between this and horizon line it will be only a smaller minor axis. I cannot make more like this, no, it will destroy this perspective. So I can only make it like more and more flat, kind of this, right? So, and same, it's already showing me ratio here, so it's showing me that this, above this horizon line, ellipses will be always more narrow than this one. So maybe kind of this. And I'm talking about ratio, this minor and major axis. So we have ellipses, and now we can see there is also some straight lines, so I can make a grid for them. Like here we have this line, so I can kind of make grid for them. Why not? It will be useful. So let's say like this. And let's see, like this. So, and next, like what we have, just to again to show this main shapes and overlaps. So we have this kind of building here. We have this shape. We have this shape. Maybe even move horizon line a little higher. Так, kind of this. So, and these shapes, they all will have ellipses in them. So, let's say like you have this shape, this shape, this shape, and they all made from like their form is elliptical, all of them elliptical here, so I need to keep it in mind. And like I say, I need to keep this ratio for these ellipses. So here I have horizon line, and here I have lines, they go into their own vanishing point. So I just make this vanishing point, and here again this kind of shape, put ellipses in this shape. There's many other ellipses around. So you see, it's kind of like repeating primitive geometry. And then I can like make more details above this geometry, or I can just start to make final line art, because I want it to be a little quick. But if I will draw my own work from beginning, like without reference like this, yeah, I will make like one more step with pencil details. some flying lamps, I think. Take hello Carl Cam, thank you. Yeah, and that's just demonstrating how this basic principles, kind of general knowledge of perspective, how it works, what is like standard sequence. Okay, I have like giant people and small people here, but okay. Little rush. Here also some people walking in a garden. In these trees, again, it's like overlapping silhouettes, overlapping shapes. So with this overlap, we're also showing movement in space. Thank you for feedback. Yeah, it's just kind of studies, they're very helpful. You can like draw with me, like watching my videos, and you can also make your own breakdowns, like rebuild. Like idea is like you need to rebuild your favorite artist. Like I don't know exactly what was process for, no, I mean like I don't know for sure because I never seen Moebius drawing this kind of illustration, so I don't know like 100% sure what was his process, but I'm sure it's close to this process I show you, because kind of standard techniques here, standard approach, and this is process which I use for myself. So, and instead of just copying his work, I practicing like if I'm being him, right? So practicing like drawing it in a technique which I use myself. So following kind of all the steps usually I do in my work, like making perspective grid, composition sketch. So you know, like if you're, for example, a digital artist working in like Procreate or Photoshop, you will kind of try to draw him in Photoshop, and there will be like different approach because there's some kind of specific techniques for digital painting, kind of, alright. And it will be best if you practice like if you are making your own digital illustration. People everywhere, people here, people there, somebody sit. Because kind of your goal is to improve your own working process, not to be like perfect imitator and copying kind of expert, but take some tricks and learn something from your favorite master. Somehow it's kind of much deeper form of art appreciation. You just look much closer, you see much more details, you understand it's much deeper than when you only look. When you draw, you look more precise. It's kind of like more professional eye. cool. Yeah, sure. So really recommend it. So it's kind of like your comfortable working process, how you usually make your digital work, but instead of making your idea, you making your favorite artist idea. You're making like Moebius work. So it gives you this experience of making master work while you're also in your comfort zone, and you already kind of have some favorite working pipeline, kind of, right? So just enhancing your working process. And also with this rebuild and recreation process, what I always talking, your focus more on rebuilding than on preciseness, because like repeat exactly all details and exactly on the right proportions, it's not important. It's a secondary task. It's kind of cool, of course. Of course, it's always cool if you can make like super accurate work. But it's not a main goal. Main goal here is rebuild it. And if all these proportions, they're like little different, is totally fine. It saves me energy, and so I'm more focused on the principles, on the methodology. On the kind of experience of making this style work, this genre of working in this sequence. So if there are certain details, I can change their placement. I can put them in different places, reorganize, rearrange. It's also more fun. It's like I do it a little my own version. Because when we're focused on a likeness, it's really kind of put us in a very uncomfortable limitation, like boundaries, you know. So instead it's more beneficial to practice make your own version of thing instead of make copy. It's more like what is creative process about is make your interpretation, make your version, your variation. So like where we draw from nature, we also make our vision, make our variation of this real view instead of trying to be a copy machine like camera or stuff. And this is what people also want. They want to see your interpretation, they want to see kind of your impact, even if it's about making it less accurate, make it less perfect. Most of like individual elements in art style, many of these elements, it's kind of your mistakes. It's how you make something wrong. This is also kind of your style. Hello, Konstantinas. So there's some flying ships. Some birds. So yeah, we are like was in art college. They teach us to copy, like copying help you improve your technical stuff. Yeah, I think it's for me personally, I will say it's important at the very beginning when you like learning how to make hatching, how to draw straight lines, how to control kind of your pencil and stuff. But then very quickly it became too simple and not beneficial task to focus on. And instead of copy, you need to recreate, you need to practice, break down, deconstruct, to see how work, like what is elements of work, why this work made this way, like why it feels like this. So you study its construction, you study its elements, then you, if you can research, if you can find like process behind it, yeah, it's also very useful, very important. If you find, you cannot find, in case if you cannot find like process of exact artist, you can find like process for this kind of work, let's say like this comic book style, like ink, watercolor. Okay, there is standard approach kind of to this. You can find it, you can practice it, and you can see, you can analyze different artists' work through this process. You kind of need to break down, try to rebuild, recreate this work, kind of using same elements, and this is much more useful practice of analysis, rebuilding, recreating. And you will realize like you don't need to spend so much time for this practice of copying, kind of like nervous so much that you cannot copy perfectly. As a professional artist, you don't need perfectly copy anything at all, never, just no sense. Your imperfection have more value than ability to perfectly copy stuff. Especially now when we have AI, all this thing, So it's even more make it about your personal vision. It's just, it should be like, you know, some reason and meaning why you do it certain way. And this reason, this meaning, it what separate you, like make you different from AI, because AI doesn't have human experience, so it cannot share its experience because it haven't. It will only copy, imitate. Like you will write story about your life experience, and after, when you, like, your story will be famous, AI will copy it and imitate your story, your style. This kind of like is nothing new here. It always like mediocre art was like this. Like some guy make original work, it became iconic, and then like mainstream will copy his work, doing like kind of AI work of repeating success, kind of following trend. What is my main field of art? No, usually I do like travel sketch, like outdoor sketching. It's like kind of urban sketch, but it's more complicated, more sophisticated. I do murals. Now I wanted to be more like illustration and comic book artist, so I'm working towards this direction. No, I was like playing around with AI, but I never find a kind of, I cannot find use it for my work. Still kind of useless. It's just like you know, like again, it's like movie. I was realized AI somehow it's like movies or computer games. Like when I first time was play Red Dead Redemption 2, I was just like, oh my god, it's so crazy. It's look like this like amazing oil painting, right? But it's not just oil painting. It's the whole, like, it's oil painting, interactive, and virtual reality. So you can go around and you can watch all this sunset, sunrise. You can like communicate with the people, with the characters inside this. So it looks like three-dimensional virtual reality artwork, like masterpiece, right? So I was like, this already should be like end of art, you know. It was never any artist was ever able to do such thing. It's like beating everything, like smashing it into pieces. All this like impact of traditional art, right? But it's not destroy art. It doesn't make anything like to traditional art. It's just other thing, like a movie. It's movie. It's like, it's not one man work. First of all, it's not some one guy who sit and make it. No, it's like totally different process. Same with this computer game. Yeah, they have like team of artists. They have like army of all these IT workers, millions of dollars, all this stuff. So yeah, of course they will do something like this. It is just another genre. It's something what exists, like coexist with us. So, and I look AI, it's kind of same thing. yeah, AI making AI stuff. It doesn't make art. It doesn't make illustrations. It's kind of making its own thing. And I think maybe it will remain like this in the future. So it's like no, how many people you see like print screenshot from computer game and put it in a frame, or make exhibition of a screenshot from computer game? I think it's only like game fan, right? Like it's like, oh, I'm fan of Red Dead Redemption, so we'll print some kind of favorite screenshot from game. Like, I mean, it's so nobody do that. Even this, like, nobody do, right? So galleries and all this, like picture in a frame, is still pretty much our artist field. And when people will want picture in a frame, they will go to art market, or they will find some artist, or they will draw themselves. People want to have human work. So this kind of main thing. So same like, you know, when you talk to somebody, you don't want just to have chat. You don't want to experience conversation. You want to talk with somebody real, kind of, right? So even if this like AI will have super amazing ability to talk, it doesn't make it real human. So when you want to speak to real people, you will go and talk to real people. You will not go talk to AI. So this kind of what I think is just another genre. And even with a movie, when they will make like AI Netflix, where it's like all movie, you just write like prompt, like you say, I want to watch like sci-fi movie with crocodiles speaking English, you know. Still there will be like industry for movies where it's just old school people, actors and stuff. It's just, I think it's AI will take all mediocre jobs. So all these people who are not really like original, they're not individual in their work, they're being just like doing technical illustration work or technical acting or whatever. Their job will be taken by AI. Okay, so let's today keep on this stage. Also, I will do a video about coloring, so we'll show how you can watercolor this. It's very interesting. So like there is very simple method to coloring this kind of works with watercolor. So thank you for watching. Like, you can also share, subscribe, scream in the window like, people, you need to subscribe. Jean Giraud tutorials, like paint on your car, like Jean Giraud tutorials, subscribe, you know. Make a t-shirt. Don't make tattoo. I don't like tattoos. It's bad idea. But you can put sticker on your car.